come through and didn't ring. That's just bizarre. I heard you ringing in my phone next door, Marnie. Oh, we're live. Hi.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, Marnie. Hello, Jenny. Oh my God, we have like an exciting conversation with, I wonder where we will go with this, because like X-Men abstract, what the fuck is that?
I know the police are coming to get us. I can hear them. Because we dare to be that different.
Exactly.
So I wonder what it brings up in your world if you dare to be so different.
Yeah, I wonder, like for me, it was like, there was no dare to be different. I was like my whole life trying to fit in and failed.
Totally.
I'm not sure about everyone else, but like for me, it's like, let me try harder, let me cut off more. And like, and now just starting with, I mean, with Access has changed a lot, but with the X-Men tools, even more, like really like how different we all are. Like, and I'm so grateful for Jenny and you, Marnie, like, there's just such a different space of acknowledgement beyond words. And now we're trying to do a Facebook Live with words, like, yeah.
Which is tricky. And that's the whole thing with abstract X-Men. It's abstract. And you can't actually put it into a definition, because the moment you try to is the moment you lose the space and the invitation that it actually is. So you just have to be with it without a reference point and without a definition, without a conclusion, just curiosity and question. And if we were that with ourselves, no judgment, no reference points, no conclusions, just curiosity and wonder, what am I?
Yeah,
I love it.
wow.
This is something about, like, it was Gary Douglas that said definition by definition alone is a limitation. So as soon as, what does that mean? You know, it's like Gary says something and it's just like, what? But literally what he's saying there is like, when you define something, you sort of underline it. And when you underline it, you've confined it in that box of all it can be, and you can't perceive anything beyond that box. So when you do that with yourself and judge yourself as, this is how I am, this is how I show up, you know, I'm female, I'm of this age, and this is how I should be, this is how I should act, then all you perceive around you is where you actually fit in, exactly what Simone said, or where you don't fit in, and where you strive to fit yourself into that mold. So you're received by everybody else. But that's what we're taught, is to be received by everybody else. But is that actually what our worlds are about? Is it about being received? Or where is it we actually receive ourselves? Is it by someone else, or does it start with yourself?
Yeah, and from the moment we're born, I mean, you think about day one on planet Earth, the first thing that's occurring is they're male, female, what's your name, measure your head, measure your length, how much do you weigh, what are all of these things, so we can put you in a category and compare you with all of the other babies that have been born and are being born. And then you go from there to, most of us are born in square little hospital rooms and put in square little cribs, and then we go to square little schools with square little desks, and everything is this box, square, judge, compare, definition. And we are so not wired that way at all. And I mean, Jenny said it, I think one time, it's not even the square peg in the round hole. There just is no peg and no hole. It's just so beyond that. But we haven't been invited to explore that and be that. So we're inviting, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
If you want to explore that, if you want to be with the brilliance and the greatness, the capacities of you that you may have not even known were there, and certainly not acknowledged, and discover more about that. And Miss Peregrine School, let's go.
Yay. So like the abstract part, like it's just that undefined thing, you know, like that is not like valuable for anyone else. It's like you would not even think, like there's no thinking about it, because like this is where thinking ends and you begins, kind of.
Totally.
I mean, we're brought up to cover everything that we know. We're told to duplicate everything around ourselves so we can actually fit in. Because if we fit in, we're normal. We won't get bullied. We won't get, pushed aside. We won't get trodden on. will be allowed to be yourselves. In actual fact, that's the greatest lie we're ever told. It's the absolute opposite. When you fit in, you're actually caught in the system. You're caught in only being able to be what they can receive. And that's the key, because if you're only being what they can receive, can they actually receive that? Or is it so small that you can't even get that in your world? And the difference with abstract is it doesn't matter what shape, form, structure, color, or even, as I said to Marnie the other day, what color are you that you've never ever been born? Like, you know, what's never been born yet? What color is that doesn't show, even register on our spectrum of colors that you are, that's never been allowed to be present in this world?
Because it doesn't exist in this reality. And this is where we get stuck. Who and what we are does not exist in this reality, but we keep trying to find it in this reality. So we'll finally belong, finally fit in, finally not feel so awful, wrong, abnormal, weird, strange, and all the things, but it doesn't exist in this reality. It's beyond it. And you are it. You're a unique, expression.
This is so cool, because like I had that oftentimes in facilitation, and like, yeah, if you just let that all go, what is that? And then to like, then it doesn't exist, which for most of people equalizes death, which is not true. Like, this is the place where you start. Like, it's just, yeah, there's just something unraveling. Then you go.
But it is death, because it's death of one reality as you know it.
Yeah.
And the birth of a different space and possibility. So it's like if you lived your life being born every 10 seconds of a new person of who you are emerging, it's the difference between a caterpillar and a butterfly. Like, they're the same creature, but it's just slightly different lives. And what if you're the same every 10 seconds? I mean, are you the same person you were when you were 7? Never mind a baby, never mind 21. Like, come on.
Never mind yesterday.
Exactly. We change all the time, but I'm giving you values because it's like we seem to define ourselves by some linearity that actually doesn't exist.
You know what just came up is like, is it even true? Are we pretending with the words without even having nothing with it? It's just like, I'm using the words everyone else uses, even so it's not nothing to do with me, but I can talk like everyone else. But even knowing it's just the blah blah on the side, you know?
Which is where, when you journey with this stuff and be in a whole host, because we've already begun these calls. We've had one call and the second one is next week. And there's 10 calls over 5 months. And that journey is unfolding like everything you know that you don't really acknowledge that you know. But just by being this in the space of other people, there's something emerges. There's like a calmness and an honoring and an acknowledgement, because there's no wrongness in this space, and you can actually allow yourself to turn into that butterfly by being in that space. You don't need to put yourself in a cocoon and hide away or be that caterpillar. You can allow yourself to have all of your colors.
I love this.
And it opens up that real space of who you are and the honoring of that and the gratitude of that. Because guys, when you be that, then how does that contribute to your world and everyone around you?
Whole new space and a whole new reality.
And especially now there's so much new space showing up, so much more consciousness, like everything is so different, and it's so easy to go to the wrongness and put all these new energies in a familiar box of pain, a familiar box of doubt, a familiar box of being rejected, instead of like, wait a second, what if I'm asking? And I learned it with you, Jenny, thank you so much. Okay, what if I allow myself to be present with the energy without putting a label on it, and just be with it, and then ask, what is it, you know? Or just be with it and not going to the immediate need to refuse part, you know?
Yeah, and when you do that, when you be with the energy with a question, rather than a label or trying to stick it into something familiar, then you find that the energies that you somewhere decided were too big, intense, or greater than you actually aren't. And there's no things to run away from anymore. There's no things to fight against anymore, because you begin to get the awareness that, oh, my presence my potency, me being me, is enough. And there's nothing greater, not one single thing that's greater. So talk about being able to exist with the ease that we seek. And it always seems right out here when we're just willing to be with whatever energies are present in question.
And this is a group of people. Holy moly, I cannot put words to that. It's just, I'm so grateful for
Yeah.
you, Marnie, for you, Jenny, for the whole group, like the first call, and also the people like that I speak with, like, oh my God, especially that last part of just being with the energy, with each other, with no words, was such a, yeah, nurturing and no words. But
Yeah.
probably you can get the energy of like, yeah, if you were looking for it to be received, that might probably be the place where it can happen, or it can start. Thank you so much. Anything else you want to say?
Thank you.
We will
No,
put the
thank
link.
you.
Just this. Yeah. Yeah.
Just be with the space that's beyond words and ask to receive what's present here, because it's undefinable. And we're so grateful to play with this with all of you guys that have already chosen it. And if you heard the call and you haven't answered it, what if you receive these energies and ask, if I choose this, what will my life be like in 5 years' time?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Okay.